I'm Lee Iridium. Hope everyone's doing all right today. Album review time. So, the Dark Horde and The Calling. Now, I've been going on about this album for a little while now, since I heard the first song, Mask, which just blew me away. So straight away it got me excited to hear it's a concept album. And I've reviewed or reacted to the other two singles, which also blew me away, but also had me wondering and excited to see how they'd fall within the concept of the album. So let me tell you a little bit about this album. And I've actually come to get this early thanks to Bruin, who wrote the lyrics and the book that this is the prequel to. So thank you very much for that. And to hear anything early just blows my mind. It really does, especially because I was so excited about hearing this album. And let me tell you now, you know how excited I've been. I've been reacting to these three songs. Does it live up to what I hoped? Oh yes, and more for definite. So this is now being released on the 22nd of October across the digital platforms. Not available yet physical media, but it will be in the future. But at the moment, you can get it on Spotify, whatever streaming service you use. Let me tell you a little bit about this concept album itself. And I have promised Bruin that I wouldn't share too much information about the story itself. So obviously not giving the story away any spoilers, but he has said that I can give you a few snippets of music, little bits of music, which you haven't heard before. So this is like a bit of an exclusive, I suppose. So you're lucky enough to hear some little bits. I will spread them out about within the review to just give you a little taster of what you're going to get. So this is an Australian project. And let me tell you, the Australians are just knocking out of the park. The Wicked Smile album's just about to come out this month, and that's one of the albums of the year, without a doubt. But this, with the concept as well, it's just blown me away to also be right at the top there for me at the end of the year. So, all tracks are composed by a guy called Hani Mohammed. He was in a band called Black Majesty. And Logan Jacobs. Apart from two of the tracks, they were written by Chris Lane and James Lowe. So the concept and the lyrics are all by Bruin, who wrote the book and has also wrote all the lyrics for this concept album. So the people in the band, or the project if you like. So the main singer is Danny Sakati from Wicked Smile. I've just spoken about them, just releasing a brilliant album very, very soon, this Friday actually. Danny Sakati is a brilliant vocalist. He's got so much range. He's a proper metal singer with that sort of theatrical side to him. Sort of reminds me of people like Dio, the way he could, the power in his voice. And also, like, you know, the singers that are around at the moment, Jorn Londe, Russell Allen, he's got that sort of power in his voice. But he's got a superb, absolutely superb range and tone. It's just perfect for this sort of horror concept album. Absolutely brilliant. Narration. Now you've got a lot of narration across this concept, as you're doing a lot of concept albums, and it fits absolutely brilliant. It's by a guy called Kevin Powell. Does a brilliant job all the way through this album. And some of these tracks, I'll go through them. Some of them you get narration fully with music. You get little snippets of narration, you get vocals and narration in like the same song. There's a real mixture within the concept album, the 12 tracks that you're gonna hear. So you've also got some demonic voices done by a guy called Sean Ferrugia. Now, I mean, you've got to listen to this album in the dark, guys. Your headphones on, them demonic voices just freak you out. They're absolutely brilliant. They come sort of a little bit later in the album, and it's just brilliant. A brilliant touch to a real dark album. You got also some little snippets of Dexter Seamus, who plays a young boy called Henry, and Henry grows up. You've already heard Dexter if you listen to the reactions that I did in the childhood video, and he's a brilliant little young actor. Also Jane Bruin, who's a young female actor, plays Henry's mother in the same track, does a great job too. And Andrew Caroline also plays a little part within the story. Now, the recording of the album, the sound of the album is absolutely brilliant. It's got a real dark tone to it. There's a lot of intricate guitaring on this, and it's really clear in the mix. That's exactly what you want on this sort of album, a concept album, which is a true metal album, but you want that guitar to be loud. You want it to be, you know, showing those intricate guitar melodies and riffs throughout. And it's a brilliant mix, mixed by Ricardo Burgess and mastered by Jen Bogren. So they do a brilliant job of making this album come to life. And the whole concept, remember, you know, this is different than recording any sort of straightforward metal album, with the concept as well. Got to also give a big shout out to the artist who's been involved with this project. I've seen the 3 singles and the artwork that he's done, and it's been absolutely amazing. His name's Aldo Requena, and he's just done some brilliant artwork throughout the build up to this concept album. So the guys who are actually producing the music, mentioned who's written most of this album. So these guys also play on the album. Got Hani Mohammed and Logan Jacobs doing nearly all the music across this album, and they do a brilliant job. You've got a couple of guest guitarists who also wrote a couple of songs. So Chris Kane and James Lowe also play a little bit of guitar on this album. But the main driving force, like I said, is Danny Mohammed and Logan Jacobs. And also just going back to, obviously, Danny Sakati, who produces all the main vocals on this album. Man, these guys are just top-notch musicians, and within that storyline and the concept, it just blows my mind. And without giving any of the storyline away, obviously, this just follows a character called Henry Wilcox, who has encounters with the Dark Horde. Like I said, I'm not going to give any of the storyline away, but the Dark Horde is obviously something that's an evil horde, if you like. So, but what happens within the storyline, you will not know from me. You have to get the album for that. So, what does this sound like? I've said it's a metal album for sure, and obviously it's got those narration parts and the talking parts and the acting parts, but 70% of this is probably just full-blown proper metal. And what I loved about the singles is what I said, they are standalone tracks as well, and there's a lot of other tracks on this album that are like that. There's 12 tracks in total. You get some snippets like you do concept albums, which all just meld so well within the story. They just fit perfectly, and that's what a concept album's all about. You get sucked in, and I got sucked in. I've listened to this album 3 times now, from beginning to end, once with headphones on, in the dark, and it sucks you in. It really does. You really get into the story, and that's done its job for me. You know, a concept album ain't an easy album to make, but they've done a brilliant job on this. And like I said, they've got those standalone songs as well, the 3 singles, plus there's about 4 or 5 or 6 other songs that are just brilliant standalone. You could listen to them on a shuffle in your car, and they would fit perfectly with any of the metal songs that you listen to. I won't run through every track like I do with a normal album. I'll just run you through some of my favourite highlights. You got Mask, which was the first single I heard, which is amazing. Take my hand, let me play, hide me from the fears that grasp my mind. I want to live, I want to be, no longer want to know no shame. A galloping metal song, Maiden-esque, I would say. Huge powerful vocals, chorus is just mind-blowing. There's a small narration part which is really cool in this. Definite one of those standalone metal songs that is just amazing. Childhood, again, the second single.
My early childhood to the outsider seemed like any other. A child full of energy, confidence and wonder. Then, when I was only 7, came the visions.
this is brilliant. Some excellent acting in this and some brilliant narration, and there's an excellent musical passage that just blows my mind every time I hear it. It just hairs on the back of the neck. Victim, which is the third single, another standout track. Soaring classical sort of trained vocals from Danny Sakati here. He hits some amazing heights here, especially in the chorus. There's an amazing solo, fast, technical, intricate, and a brilliant Maiden-esque twin lead to finish it off. Memory is another track. Very cool track, this one, a heavy chugging riff and catchy guitar melodies. This is really cool because this narration swaps with vocals nearly all the way through the song. A brilliant solo yet again. Slaughter is another highlight. This gives me real Iced Earth feels. They're a real dark metal band. This is bit like Iced Earth, the galloping riffs that they do. Back to the full metal assault on this song. Soaring vocals, great guitar melodies, blistering solo again, a bit of narration at the end, which is very cool as well. And then there's Awakening. I mean, there's lots of highlights on this album, but Awakening is like the longest track on the album, and it just mixes everything you've heard within the album within that one song. It's just amazing. Some really intricate, brilliant riffs going throughout this song. Amazing, absolutely amazing, and epic at the same time. As you can tell, this is easily recommended by me. It's hard to do a concept album. There's a lot of concept albums I don't like. I just can't get into them. This one got me from before I even heard it. It got me excited for it. And sometimes, you know what it's like, you hear a single or you hear a couple of singles, you get excited, you sometimes get let down, especially within a concept album, because it's so hard to get it right. You have to think about the story, the actual feel of the whole album. Does it feel, does it gel? You know, does the narration, you have narration and acting, is it going to fit? Yes, it all fits. It's a brilliant effort from these guys. This is highly recommended. It's going to be one of the top albums on my list of the year. I hope it catches on. I really do, because this should be huge. This album should be huge. Everyone deserves to listen to this. You know, if you're into that sort of metal pounding, intricate riffs with soaring vocals, but you get a brilliant storyline at the same time, check this one out, guys. Obviously, this is highly recommended for me. Get it. Like I said, 22nd of October across all the streaming platforms. Physical media will be later, and imagine what that'll be like, a concept album. I'm sure the guys, if you already look at the artwork from the singles, it's going to be amazing, absolutely amazing. I can't wait. I'll be getting that too. Thanks for listening, guys. Highly recommended, like I said. I'll see you next time.